You hear it first, like a single brave whisper, "Dare to be extraordinary." It lands in your chest, not as an accusation, but as an invitation to step closer to who you secretly know yourself to be. Imagine that phrase as a lamp in a dark room. It doesn't force the door open, it simply shows you where the knob is. There is no grand jury of expectation here, only a quiet, steady offering. Try, reach, become. Let that lamp warm your hands and feel the courage rise, and with that warmth, let us begin this walk together. You take a first small step, a choice to answer differently, to speak one bold sentence, to send one message that used to sit in drafts. That step feels strange. It bends old habits and reveals how familiar the ordinary once felt. But dare is not the same as reckless. It is the courage to act when your heart whispers you could be more. We discover that extraordinary is less a destination and more a manner of showing up, curious, committed, kind. Hold that discovery as you move deeper into the day. Every day, quiet acts compose extraordinary lives, answering with honesty instead of avoidance, choosing courage instead of comfort, offering time when the world demands hurry. Those tiny choices are like pebbles dropped into a wide lake. Each creates rings that reach far beyond the horizon you can see. When you dare to be extraordinary in the small things, you begin to alter the water itself. We are not alone in the ripple. Others feel the change and respond, and before long a tide is forming. There are mornings when the ordinary feels safe and sufficient, mornings when the chair by the window offers all the comfort you need. But daring to be extraordinary asks something different, not constant upheaval, but steady fidelity to a deeper call. It asks you to nurture curiosity, to treat your skills like seeds, and to accept slow growth. We reclaim the steady, patient courage that plants roots beneath the surface, knowing the oak is built over seasons, not demands. Let this steadiness settle in your bones as we continue together. You are shaped by the people who call you forward. When you surround yourself with those who also dare, their courage reflects back and makes yours brighter. Extraordinary lives are rarely solitary myths. They are woven from conversations, shared failures, and late-night promises kept. When you show up, someone else sees permission to show up too. This is the quiet revolution of community. We make space together, and then we stand in it as witnesses. Hold that witness close as you step toward the next horizon. Failure here is not a verdict, but a lesson carved in honest light. Every misstep, every closed door, sharpens your sense of what matters and strips away the superfluous. When you dare to be extraordinary, you choose to learn more quickly, forgive yourself more readily, and return with greater clarity. These quiet failures are the soil that strengthens your resolve. They prepare you for courage that is not fragile but becomes disciplined and kind. Breathe into that preparation as we climb toward the bright center. Then comes the moment when your courage is no longer a private ember but a visible flame. You speak truth. You step into a room that used to intimidate you. You raise your hand when silence has been the default. Others notice. The world notices. The courage that once felt risky now becomes a beacon that calls people forward. Dare to be extraordinary shifts from aspiration to model, and you realize you are both the traveler and the path. Let that realization swell in your chest as we push toward the peak. You carry a story of choices made in darkness, of whispered promises, of the nights you practiced bravery in private. When you share that story with someone who needed to hear it, something alchemical happens. The story both liberates and deepens your identity. Extraordinary lives become contagious through story. They teach what statistics cannot. By telling what you learned, you grant someone else the permission to begin. Keep that story close and let it guide your next movement. A leap is not always dramatic. Sometimes it is a deliberate surrender to possibility, applying for that role, asking for that chance, offering your art, or apologizing with intention. The leap collects all the small commitments and turns them into momentum. You feel fear, you feel electricity, you feel the steady rhythm of a heart that knows it is alive. This is the peak, where ordinary self-doubt meets extraordinary action. Breathe and carry that momentum forward with a steady hand. Extraordinary is not a finish line. It is a practice you return to each morning. It is the ritual of choosing open-heartedness when it would be easier to shut down, of choosing clarity when confusion tempts you, of choosing compassion when anger flares. We create rituals, small, sacred acts of courage that center us. When you build these habits, your life becomes a series of deliberate decisions that shape not just your days, but the culture around you. Hold that ritual like a promise as we move to our final reflection. This is a call not only to you, but to all of us. Dare to invite your neighbor, your friend, your online stranger into a conversation about growth. Share a failure that taught you something. Celebrate someone else's small victory. Offer help without expecting anything back. When we cultivate an ecosystem of courage, the ordinary becomes extraordinary by virtue of how we treat each other. We are builders, gardeners, storytellers, together shaping each other's possibilities. Keep that gesture ready as you come toward the close. Remember this always. Dare to be extraordinary is a life lesson disguised as a slogan. It asks you to choose courage over convenience, presence over performance, and community over isolation. When you accept the dare, you are giving yourself permission to grow, to fail, to rebuild, and to celebrate with others. If this spoke to you, make it a practice. Subscribe to this circle of reflection. Share this message with someone who needs it, and tell us in the comments how you interpret the dare. Together, we will continue to step, to rise, and to be extraordinary. Will you join us?